Alright, well, since we're live, welcome everybody to the new Fighting Order stream on this snowy ass motherfucking February 13th,
Don't worry, plug your
2014.
mic in. We'll call you back if you want to.
I am D
I'm
Mizzle
assuming
for
it's working,
Rizzle.
so
I mean, we can hear
Man,
you.
Noop is here, and Nelson is
uh,
here in his pajamas, looking sleepy as hell. What's going on, man?
Hell yeah,
they're
I'm
pronounced
sleepy.
pajamas.
I'm
And I'm about to
sleepy.
eat my last piece of bacon because I was in the middle of dinner. But because we care about you all so much, we interrupt our own sleeping and eating just to make sure you get the latest news.
Yes, so we have some news for you all. As you may have heard, Microsoft has a new CEO. He was the head of cloud services and Bing. Uh, he beat out the Nokia guy for the position. And let me look up his name here. CEO. He replaces Ballmer. And also, Bill Gates got voted out as chairman of Microsoft. So the new CEO's name is Satya Nadella.
Whoa.
And he has a very good history. He's considered one of the proteges of Bill Gates.
Uh huh.
And the reason why he was chosen is that he would continue to follow what Bill Gates intended the company to go in, the direction to become more of a hardware as well as a software developer. So, Nelson, man, what do you think about this new CEO? What do you think he's going to do?
I just hope, from based on other reports that I've been listening to, that they don't fuck with the brand, because I hear that they was trying to get a new CEO for some time, and they might be going towards the route of canceling their gaming development and all this other shit, and they only want to focus on like the general software of what they supposed to be working on, not anything else. So I'm just hoping he knows what he's doing, and if he doesn't, he's gonna get like a huge backlash from everybody, like huge backlash.
Uh, Newt, man, what do you think about the new Microsoft CEO? Considering that he's considered one of Bill Gates' proteges, and he has experience within the company, they didn't go with the Nokia CEO. So, what do you think about that?
Oh,
What do you think he has to do to continue forward?
It's refreshing, just like that cup of water I have. It's refreshing. Sometimes when leadership changes, people get scared and they automatically assume the worst. And the only reason people usually assume the worst is because someone's already been there. They put in the groundwork, and you've gotten used to things being a certain way. So you get complacent, you get comfortable. But when someone else comes in that you don't know, regardless of their accolades, we automatically, as humans, just say, "Oh man, I hope this doesn't mess up. I hope that doesn't mess up." Things are gonna happen that we aren't gonna like. It's a different person. He has a different view on things. But overall, he may end up being the greatest thing that ever happened. So I think it's good. Shake it up, change things up. There's a reason why someone new is there. So we shall see.
All right. Speaking to something that Nelson brought up, there, like, even though that this guy is brand new, minted CEO, there's already pressure from the top shareholders of Microsoft to ditch Bing, the Xbox brand, like sell it off completely, as well as Microsoft Surface, because they want Microsoft to return to what it used to be, which was strictly a business enterprise level software developer, like licensing Windows, Word, Office, what have you, out to businesses, schools, military software developers, stuff of that nature. And they want to go away from the hardware because they feel it's dragging the company down as a whole. So I don't agree with what those shareholders want, but as we know, giant corporations such as Microsoft, such as Sony, such as Nintendo, because Nintendo recently did a huge stock buyback, so they have more of a say of what goes on within their company. But companies of that magnitude are beholden to their shareholders, and they want to inspire confidence within their shareholders, so more people, because these are the people that like make these companies into the mega corporations that they are, make them worth billions and billions of dollars. So, what do you think of the shareholders wanting Microsoft to essentially ditch their hardware and go back to being strictly a software developer? Newt, man, let's start with you first.
I don't know about that. I would like to know what their reasoning is. I mean, hardware wise, you see the Microsoft tablet all over the place. It is, as far as competition to the iPad, one of like the top three competitors because of its capabilities. Um, then you have the Xbox 360, the Xbox One. All of that, is a huge leap forward for Microsoft, just getting their foothold in the gaming market. Um, Software, I mean, y'all can still do your software thing. I don't see why everything else is being looked at as a drag on the software side of things, because those are separate departments, separate division, and there's different people working on those. And that's also kind of a bad thing, because if you sell all that stuff out, that's a lot of jobs that are going to be lost too, because you never know who's going to buy it and if they want to keep those people on. Um, Beyond that, I don't know much about the marketing side of things or the financial side of things, but as far as software goes, I'd say software is far more competitive than hardware, because software, I mean, I know kids in third, second, fourth grade learning how to code and program and making their own apps now. A lot of the stuff people want to get, they can make themselves pretty much. So, I mean, do I go to you and pay you for some sort of software, or do I just make it myself? Or do I just go bootleg it? You know what I mean? If you take everything else away and all you have is that, then your company is only going to be relying on basically one product or one form of income. Why do that when you can have multiple sources? Now, I mean, if it's a financial decision, like, hey, we're bleeding money over here, then that's one thing. But that I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, it's not like the situation that Sony is currently in, where only one division, their gaming division, is currently making the income, where the rest of the divisions are failing. Like music is not doing well, Sony Pictures is not doing too well, Sony Electronics, like they just recently sold off the Vio brand, like, which is their computer stuff. So they're
Ah,
not they're not in that situation where they're uh, having to rely solely on one division to pick up the slack, so to speak. So I don't know where this is coming from. I'd like to know where this concern is coming from as well. But Nelson, man, since you sort of brought it up in the last topic, do you want to elaborate on it further? Or what do you think about it?
It's like I said, and when I brought it up in the previous topic, they just got to be very careful of what they're trying to cut, because not only Bing, not only the whole gaming division that they got going, and the whole tablet part, that's been selling. Well, except for Bing, because Bing is just like Google, so whatever. But the gaming division and the tablets, the Surface itself, it's been selling like crazy. And I don't know why they want to cut back and go back to what they used to be as a standalone PC software company that only makes stuff like Word, Office, Security Essentials, all that other dumb shit. Like that's a small portion. Yeah, I get that, but you're tapping in from all variety of ages. You're tapping in from the older and corporate people to families to teenagers to like young adults. It's just like you hit the whole market. Why go back and lose money? Why would you want to sell that out and have someone else buy it for probably a good price to you, and then make it even to something better? Then you're gonna look back and be like, oh, I fucked up. So
Like,
yeah, because gaming is only going to get bigger and better and larger on the world stage, because as the better streaming gets, the bigger gaming is going to get, because For some reason, gaming just can't break through on cable television. But cable television itself is almost becoming irrelevant, and streaming is going to be the future. So you definitely want a foothold in that video game world, man. I mean, and then like you said with the tablet, they only have what the Surface Pro, and that their tablet,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
that's right.
the RT. So it's only two products. I mean, you have the Xbox, then you have those two tablets,
Yeah,
and I
but
think
you
of
like
yeah.
to play devil's advocate here. Um, you have to do R&D. You have to do marketing. You have to do production. You have to get licensing deals from other developers to like, because those cost money, but it's not as if the gaming division is losing a lot of money. Well, it's not losing money at all, considering the success of the Xbox 360 when you take into account the hardware and the software sales and the peripheral sales and stuff like that. So,
Exactly. You just said
and
it yourself.
and
Is
it's
if
like
it's
a Surface, even though it had a rocky start, it's starting to turn it around. So, I don't think they should abandon it before they truly give it a chance to see what you can do with that.
And plus, to add on top of that, they're also big in the mobile department. They have Windows phones now. So, like, what's wrong with you, Microsoft, with your stupid shareholders? I mean, honestly, you want to lose money? I'll take your fucking money. Give it to me. Like, shit. $1 billion goes a long
because
way, man. Shit.
it's like even if they do sell all that stuff, like you said, their shares are probably gonna jump because all that money's gonna come in. But in the long run, I think it'll start to dwindle because I mean, you got new software developers popping up every day. You're gonna have far more competition on that end than you are in the gaming world. I mean, in the gaming world, the competition is extremely slim. I mean, they really only have Sony to truly compete against, and I guess Nintendo handheld market. But other than that, I mean, that's just strange to me, man. But
Alright.
man,
Moving on, moving on. Next is kind of a disappointing thing to me because I was considering getting this game, but after hearing this news, I'm not gonna touch it now. And that is Arkham. WB came out and said flat out that they're not gonna focus on any more patches to the game, and instead are gonna focus on DLC going forward for the game. So essentially, anything that's still broken with the game is gonna remain broken for the foreseeable future. And I think that's kind of a wrong approach to take with that because there are still game crippling bugs within the game, such as like there's reports that you can't finish the game due to a bug, and it's just ridiculous that they would issue that going forward. So maybe they feel that they maximize the potential of people who are gonna buy the game and instead want to focus on add-ons to the game to get more money out of the people who already have it. But if people who already have the game are still experiencing these bugs, they're not going to rush out to buy add-ons to the game because when you make an add-on to a broken game, you're going to
that's
run into you're going
the
to run
same
into more
problems in the
bugs.
yeah.
So
We talked about Batman Arkham Origins. I don't know if you said that or not.
so
Maybe I,
yeah, I said that. But
okay.
Newt, man, what do you think about WB's move on this?
WB, I loved you ever since you had the little frog doing the dance on TV. Okay, I go back to those days, to the
WB.
to the Animaniac days, to the Tiny Toon Adventure days. With that being said, how dare you? Really?
He
Yeah.
supports Nintendo.
How,
He supports Nintendo.
the reason I say how dare you is the Batman series since Arkham City. Well, no, what is it? What was the first one? Arkham City, Arkham Origins, and Arkham Asylum
Arkham
has
Asylum was the
been
first.
dubbed and in my opinion too, the greatest superhero game ever. As far as taking a traditional superhero and putting them in a video game, it's been the best ever. And now you have this title, you have all this steam behind you, and you're selling millions of copies to these loyal fans who are loving your product, and you're basically saying, we know it's broken and we're not going to fix it, but we're going to add on to it. That's like me taking my car to a mechanic and he's saying, yeah, you know, Nope, you're still gonna have problems with your car. But hey, we're getting some new rims in next week. You want to come put those on? Well, if my axles are messed up, I don't think I need to put new wheels on it. I mean, I don't know if it's because the whole switching the companies, and now they're saying, "Oh wow, it's a little harder than we thought it was going to be, and cost us a lot more than we thought it was going to cost to run this game and keep this game up." But that's not fair to the fans, and it's not fair to um, the people who purchased the game, and it's not fair to Microsoft and Sony either. I think they need to enforce a penalty fee, because I know on 360, whenever they've had to update a game, they had to pay.
Yeah,
I
it's
think if you
free
have,
now.
see, I think they should have kept it in, because if it's free, honestly, and I'm gonna be real with you, people are releasing games that aren't finished, straight up, and they're doing it because they're getting lazy and they know, oh, this game's not 100%. Let's release it. We'll just put out a patch. But you won't give me a discount on the price. You basically have us paying for something that we don't have all of yet, and I don't like that, and I don't agree with that. And I say y'all need to support the game, fix the game, because I want the game too. I had the Game of the Year edition of the first two, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and I was gonna get the Game of the Year edition of the new one. But if it has bugs to the point where I can't finish the game or the game is no longer enjoyable, I don't want it to ruin the Batman series for me, because that happened with Gears of War 2. The only thing that saves Gears of War 2 was that nothing was ever wrong with the campaign. There was the multiplayer that had issues. But because their single player was so solid, I was like, Gears of War 2 rubbed me the wrong way with all those hundreds and hundreds of patches. But the story's so good, I'm going to buy 3 and I'm going to buy Judgment. But Batman is a single player game. If the single player experience is broken, that no, I don't want to put my money into that. Like, I don't. And you know what? This is why people buy used games. This right here is an example why.
This is 100%, man, because I totally agree with everything you just said. Because Batman, the Arkham series, everybody knows how big of a Batman fan I am. And it's the truest representation of Batman in a video game. It's essentially the series that makes you actually feel that you're Batman. It takes Batman out of a straight beat 'em up series and makes you become Batman. You have his detective skills, you have his gadgets in there. You actually feel like you're putting in work as Batman outside of his fighting skills, and I appreciate that. And I flat out said to Shinwar, who's frequently on the show, and Alex when he was around, and I know he got the game. And I said it to Nelson. I was like, dude, if I don't know about this, because I feel this is an unnecessary. I was apprehensive about the game to begin with, because you remember, when it was first announced, I was like, why aren't they going forward with the sequel to Arkham City? There's so much they can do. Why are they doing a prequel? I was already on the fence about it, and having seen all these bugs and everything and these glitches, I was like, I don't know now. And now that I know that they're not gonna fix it, and Batman is, as you said, primarily a single player experience. They did tack on. I won't even give it the dignity of saying adding on a multiplayer. They tacked on the multiplayer to Arkham Origins, so I'm not gonna get it. So Nelson, man, what do you think about this revelation of WB saying, "Fuck it, if it's broken, it's broken. We're just gonna make DLC now."
Was you guys in cahoots with Capcom?
Yeah.
Because I didn't think any other company would go that route. But I purchased all the Batman games. I had Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, Arkham Origins. Played them all, beat them all. I liked all 3 of the games, but now I'm hearing from you guys that the game is broken from whatever it is, maybe glitches, airborne glitches, or like whatever, and they still want to release DLC, and we just have to say, well, fuck it, we gotta play a broken game, but we get to get some new pretty stuff from DLC. So you're basically telling me I gotta waste more money on a broken game that it can still cause problems and still I can get mad about, but you just want to maybe offer us some free DLC outfits or some new free combat arena stages for us to try out and still get glitches? Y'all following Capcom. I'm sorry. I'm not liking that. You guys to actually relook at what you're saying to the public and actually probably fix your game, and you'll probably get more credit back because WB Games was actually doing good along with Mortal Kombat, the Batman series, and a couple other games. You guys flop up now and you keep this decision, people's going to look at you the wrong way and be like, okay, we want another, producer or another developer to work on the game. And they might not trust you guys no more on the franchise. I understand you might want to move on, go to different projects and stuff like that, but if the game still has fan service, please fix it. If the game is dead, leave it dead. But the game is still highly on demand. You guys just made a Game of the Year edition. So, come on. Yeah, that's all I gotta say on that.
And beyond that, as an older and more mature gamer, as a kid, it was, oh, it's Batman, I'm getting it. Oh, it's Superman, I'm getting it. Oh, it's Lego, I'm getting it. As you get older, it's Rockstar, I'm getting it. Or it's Activision, I'm getting it. Or it's THQ, I'm getting it. Or it's Capcom. You start to look at the company rather than just the game. Because if you can take that same Batman game, the same title, but if you change that company that made it, that's a completely different decision that has to be made. There's just certain companies that just don't need to be associated with certain things. And you don't want to become one of those companies when people say, oh, Warner Brother made it. No. You don't want people to... You want your name to be synonymous. Like, big ups to Ubisoft, man. Like, I will probably buy anything they put out. Almost anything they put out. Because their track record is so good. And they put out excellent games. Even though I don't even play Assassin's Creed, I have nothing against that series. Never really played it. Just couldn't get into it. Their name is golden, and that's what you want. And this is why a lot of times franchises die. They get with the company who's not really passionate, who doesn't really give the fans what they want. And me personally, I'm not going to put my money somewhere, where I don't feel like I'm being appreciated or feel like I'm getting my money's worth. So you can scratch that.
I'll tell you exactly an example of two companies that you said shouldn't be associated with something. Look at NBA 2K versus NBA Live. Look at that comparison. Like NBA 2K, I remember reading a while back that one of the main guys left Visual Concepts, which is the developer of NBA. Oh man, Noob is gone. Let me get him back. Hang on a sec, so I can.
It says connecting. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I guess I get to answer some questions down the stream while he's gone. Yeah, I'm dropping quarters. I haven't flipped a coin in a while.
Is it still connecting now?
Yeah.
Damn. We lost him. This might be him now. Let's see here. Yup. With the text. His computer went out.
Well, that definitely sucks. What, it says computer's restarting?
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll just wait. Not long. I mean, it's not a big deal. I guess I'll bring up also that we had plans to having another guest on the podcast today, on your knees, but apparently we could not get in contact with him, so we wanted to have more people discussing about these several topics today on February 13th, 2014, but like I said, we try to make as much time as we can for our other members of the New Fighting Order, and we would want to see more faces come on here, so we're trying. Everyone has things to do. So let's see. We have 4 viewers.
He can't make it back. Oh, shit.
He can't make it back?
Nah, something's up with his computer. So,
I guess we'll continue with the podcast. I guess since Noob cut
all
out.
right. Well, since New can't be here, guess we're gonna move into the Titanfall beta. Key started going out today. I got mine, and I can finally talk about it now instead of head gestures, and I'm very impressed by it. It's like people was like, "Oh, it's just gonna be Call of Duty," and I'm like, "Nah." It like once you get into it, it's a very very easy game to get into, and even though it has ties to Call of Duty, it's so much more than that. If anything, I'd call it Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one, the original Modern Warfare, mixed with Lost Planet, mixed with Tribes. And for those of you who don't know what Tribes is, it's a PC style. It's a PC game that was made back in the late '90s, and it was a massive battle style game. And this game, it's just it's just pure fun, man. People were worried about, oh, it's just gonna be a rip off and a clone of Call of Duty, and those fears when you get into the game are quickly alleviated. Uh, Damn, and now I get a message from On Your Knees saying he's getting out of his car now. He was shoveling out his car. So do you want to get him on the show?
Wow, this guy. I don't know. I mean, we're already like how many topics in? Like we got what, two more to go?
Yeah, we'll get him in on the next show because we're almost done here.
Yeah. So
But
continue.
yeah, man, Titanfall I'm serious. It's gonna be that business. I think it legitimately has a shot at unseating Call of Duty, like grabbing their audience and bringing them over, because those players, from what I've talked to some Call of Duty players, they need something new, because Call of Duty is going to be one of those series that's released every year. Even though Activision has said that they're going to have 3 studios working on Call of Duty games so they can release them every year, it's not a game that I would want to see. It's not a series that I'd want to see released every year, because you're not giving yourself time for. It's not a sports franchise where you can release a game every year, and I can see people getting tired of that very quickly, and I think Titanfall is going to be that new franchise that slides into that Call of Duty spot. So Nelson, man, what do you think, man?
Well, I mean, I haven't played Titanfall. I've seen Maximilian played on his stream the other day. It's basically, in my opinion, it's basically Call of Duty 4. It is Mech Warrior. It is Lost Planet and a little bit of what the hell is that
Mirror's
game?
Edge.
I guess you could say Mirror's Edge or Prince of Persia when you're wall running and doing parkour. But it looks and it feels different because you have a lot of people saying like, oh, this feels like the original Modern Warfare where everything's on point with the aiming and the shooting and just like controls in general. It's very similar. And then not only that, but you get to pilot your mechs into AI mode. You get to ride in them. You get to customize their loadout. You also have these things. I don't know what the hell you call them. They're like these cards that you get to use in mid battle, and you get to basically